Hello and welcome to another session of our English vocabulary series on LELB Society, and you can find us on the net with this domain lelb.net. In this session we are focusing on week 7 day 2 of 1100 words you need to know, and in order to have access to the full text of the material, you can visit us on our website. Yeah, as you can see, our domain, our address is lelb.net on top of the photo here, and I guarantee that you will have a lot of services that are really helpful to you in order to learn English academically. And also we have some conversation classes that are free for all, so I guarantee you will find the whole online community really helpful. Alright, let's discuss the the main words here in this course. The first word of this week 7 day 2 is harass. Harass means annoy, to get into one's hairs, to bother somebody. Next word is monolithic. Monolithic means massively solid, means somehow boring, in reference to some education system that we have it here in this course, in this unit. It means actually boring and uneventful, uninteresting. Arbitrary. Arbitrary means random, haphazard, indiscriminate, not very thoughtful. Illogical. Indigent means needy, poor. And fray. Fray as a noun means skirmish, argument, fight. Okay, the title of this unit is The Tempest Spills Out of the Teapot. Tempest is a violent storm. It's a violent storm, and the whole phrase is an idiom, so it should not be translated word by word. The tempest spills out of the teapot. It means that it refers to a situation in which a person is over worried about something that is not really important or that important. So to become concerned and worried about something that is unimportant. And lick, spill here as a verb means to leak, L-E-A-K, or penetrate. Once the newspapers got the story, when they became familiar with the story, the case of the long hairs became a cause célèbre, in reference to the previous chapter in our English vocabulary series. So those two students who had grown their hair long, actually they became very famous, celebrated in the mass media. Cause célèbre means a controversy that has received so much attention in the mass media, and they are Ron and Len were interviewed, seen on TV, and regarded or considered by their fellow students, classmates. Fellow means peer, P-E-E-R, of the same ilk or type, as heroes. So everybody considered them heroes, and they admired Ron and Len. These are not delinquents or criminals or hoods of their neighborhood, so they were not criminals, one reporter wrote. But clean cut American boys, it means purified, not criminals or delinquents, who are being harassed or annoyed by a monolithic school system, an education system that is not really fair and It is dictatorial to some extent. Monolithic means here actually of the same type or ilk, uninteresting, inflexible. A caustic editorial referred to the school. Caustic means acrimonious, unkind, unfriendly. Editorial referred to the school's decisions as arbitrary and inane. So the decisions were not logical, they were not sound, they were just arbitrary, means let's say haphazardly made, not judicious, and inane means stupid. A false story even circulated about the boys being rock and roll performers. So there were rumors spreading everywhere, circulate means move around, about the boys being rock and roll performers, whose indigent families, whose let's say poor families, needed some money, and they were just doing that in order to help their families financially. Finally, the Civil Liberties Union jumped into the fray. That union, this NGO perhaps, intervened, intervene, intervened or mediated or got in between, fray means argument, with a court order. So they had a warrant stipulating or stating officially, somehow dictating, exerting influence, that the principal or dean or headmaster be required. Remember here, before be in the original, or let's say unabbreviated text, we had should, and should has been omitted. So that's why we have be after the subject. The principal should be required or obliged to show cause why the boys should not be allowed to return to class. So the headmaster, the principal, should give us some logical, reasonable, let's say, reasons, logical reasons for suspending the boys from the school just for letting their hair grow. And yes. Alright, sample sentences. I have already done it to you so that you could just focus on the function or use of the words. Use the new words in the following sentences. Number 1, after fray or fight, the feuding families agreed to patch up their differences. Feuding families, arguing families, in conflict, families in conflict, agreed to, they come to an agreement, they reached an agreement to patch up their differences, to work on their problems, to bury the hatchet, to make peace with each other, and to put aside their hostility and antagonism. Number 2, the indigent client was surprised when she was accosted by her social worker in the elegant restaurant. Indigent client, poor, needy client, was shocked. And accost here as a verb means to approach a person, to get closer to a person, usually in a threatening way. Number 3, to my mind, the decision was unreasonable and arbitrary. In my idea, the decision was illogical and just by chance. George Orwell's 1984 depicts a frightening monolithic government. He's a writer, and his work, artistic work in 1984, depicts or shows, reveals, indicates frightening government. If anonymous telephone calls harass you, the phone company will give you an unlisted number. So if you have a lot of unwanted phone calls and you are annoyed or harassed, the phone company can give you a new number that has not been used or dialed so much. Okay. Alright, matching part or matching exercise. Definitions. Match the new words with their meanings. Harass matches with to trouble. Torment. Remember, torment is a verb, torment is a noun. It's to give a lot of, let's say, harassment and torture to somebody. And so the noun form of harass is harassment. Number 7, monolithic matches with massively solid, as I said, uninteresting, boring. Okay. 8, indigent is poor, needy. 9, arbitrary means based on whim. Whim means impulse. IMPULSE. Impulse, temptation, strong feelings, a kind of paroxysm that comes into your mind all of a sudden, and maybe actually you do not have control over them. Dictatorial. Fray, the fight, skirmish. And the idiom parts. Today's idiom: one swallow does not make a summer. Well, in English literature, swallow is a symbol of, let's say, tender or pleasant seasons, particularly summer. And it shows that, okay, when you just see one incidence or sample of something, do not generalize it and don't jump into a conclusion, jump to a conclusion that actually everything is going to end well according to the start of that. So it says, don't jump to conclusion based on incomplete evidence. Okay, sure, the Yankees won their opening game, but one swallow does not make a summer. So it means that although they have won the first match, perhaps we should not come to this conclusion that they're going to reach for the championship. Alright, thank you very much for listening, for attending this course. I hope you you find it really useful. In order to receive further free English courses, just subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and also visit us on our website at LELB.net. And thank you again, and have a great time.